Calculating your damage in Wuthering Waves can get pretty complicated considering the amount of different buff types in the game and their triggers. On top of this, depending on how the damage modifier is worded, it will affect different areas of your damage calculation. So I'm going to split this video into two parts, the first explaining how damage is calculated, and the second, the part that everyone should see, is how to use the damage optimizer I have created for your Wuthering Waves builds. Timestamps are on the video so you can skip to the optimizer. On screen now you can see the entire damage process that we will be going through to make it as simple as possible to understand. Let's start with the foundation for damage, your attack. Your character will have a base attack no matter if their kit utilizes their HP or defense instead. Base attack is the combination of your character's attack stat and your weapon's main stat. Your character's base attack is not directly seen. The amount shown in the white text on the stat screen includes your equipped weapon's base attack. To increase your base attack, you can level your character and their equipped weapon. Each character has their own base attack and higher rarity weapons have higher base attack. Base attack is the core of your attack scaling character's damage. Your total attack is your base attack multiplied by the attack increases and then add flat attack. Every attack percent buff is scaled on this base attack. For example, a 30% attack buff will be 30% of your base attack added to your total attack. Your damage when making an attack will use this total attack your character has if the ability scales on attack. Now there are three main types of damage boosts that you can get. There is an attribute damage bonus, there is an attribute damage increase, and there is an attribute damage deepening or amplification. For example, you get a resonance liberation damage bonus from Echo substats, a resonance liberation damage increase from something like Yang Yang's resonance chain, and a resonance liberation damage deepening from an ultra skill like Junctions. Only the first of these affect your total damage before any enemy resistance and defense is accounted for. Your attribute damage bonus is calculated as a percentage of your total attack. For example, a 60% spectral damage bonus will be an additional 60% of your total attack added to your total damage. Your attribute damage increase is increasing the amount of damage from that specific attack. For example, Yang Yang's resonance liberation damage increase will increase the amount of damage from her total attack multiplied by her resonance liberation damage bonus. Before you see your damage numbers on screen, the total damage will then be reduced by enemy resistance and defense. Enemy resistances is usually a 10% resistance to all elements and a 40% resistance to their own element, but this can change under specific circumstances. Enemy defense is dependent on the level and many other factors. It can get quite in depth talking about how their defense is calculated, so I'm not going to cover that because it doesn't affect your damage optimization. After the total damage has been reduced by enemy resistances and defense, you can now increase the damage amount by your damage amplification or deepening, and this is the final number that you'll see on screen. Now this formula doesn't only apply to attack scaling characters but also HP and defense scaling characters. So to make this super simple for anyone to find the best echo setup for a character, I have created an optimizer, and the best part is you only need to fill in your echo values. Now this optimizer works out your total damage before enemy resistances at the moment. It's linear downscaling and upscaling after your total damage, so it won't affect your optimization to tell you what is the best weapon and best echoes. Let me show you how it works. Alright, so the link for this will be in the description and in the pinned comment so you can check it out. Once you do load in, then you will come on this welcome page. This tells you how it works, some assumptions made in the calculations, a link to all my YouTube guides for build guides, and then some of my socials here. When you have this, you do need to download it first and open it for yourself. So you just go down, file, download, Microsoft Excel. Then here at the bottom you'll see jinhsi. Currently jinhsi is the only one that's here. I do have Ling Yang that I just need to make a few touches on. I do have Changli that will be up with her release, so don't worry about that. And I have some other characters too that I'm working on, so I'll work on a separate file and then I just print over the changes to the live file. So on the character you want to optimize your build on, you just click on their name on the sheet. Currently it's only jinhsi, so you'll see here don't change these values. Again, the red, you know, you don't change. This is the perfect build, so this is her very best build that you can get. These are the kind of values you'll see. And then right here we see custom jinhsi damage calculator. This is where you fill in your echo values. So you see here main stat, so I run a crit damage piece, so I get 44% from the Overlord, and then I run 2 Spectro pieces here. I've already kept these at 18, but you can obviously change these to whatever if you don't run attack percent and things like that. And then once you have your main stats, you fill in your Echo substats. So I will fill in my values, which is 9.4% attack. Okay, so I have filled in all of my Echo values, and now we come to this side. So this is your team buffs. I have recently added this, and I'll add it for all the characters, and I'll upgrade this as time goes on and as there are more buffs. Right now I've just added all the attack percent buffs. I haven't added any of the specific attribute damage bonus buffs, but I will be in the future. So if you want to add the rejuvenating glow buff, then you just click on that checkbox and it automatically will update your values here. So if I want moonlit clouds as well to be applied to Jinhsi, then I click on it and there everything has updated. Again, static mist, the weapon, Verena's passive, Baiji's passive, Essex dungeon, Sanhua, Yang Yang, and so on. You can just check if you want these buffs applied to your final damage. Now right over here we have the crit hit values. You just say if you want to see how much you're going to be hitting on crits and how much you're going to be hitting on non-crits, and it will change all of your values. And then over here you can just double check that all your values are correct that you are getting. And for me, these are the attack percents and amounts I get from my echoes. Again, there are some notes here and assumptions as well. So now that I've filled in all my echo values, I can see that Verdant Summit is going to be doing more than Ages of Harvest. So wouldn't Verdant Summit be her best in slot? Well, the answer is no, because this assumes you have the same crit rate as Ages of Harvest. But in reality, if you're using Verdant Summit, you're not using a crit damage piece, you're actually using a crit rate piece. So we'll turn that down, and now we're at 924,000 combo damage. If we now switch back to a crit damage piece, which is what we'll have on Ages of Harvest, you can see we are just under 1 million damage. So obviously Ages of Harvest is better. Another thing we can do, and a lot of people are probably wondering about this, is attack percent better or is Spectro damage bonus better? The answer is Spectro damage bonus, but I'm going to show you why. In my case and in many other cases, attack percent and a Spectro damage bonus is better because we don't have good substats here. So if I switch over one of these to attack percent and I have the Spectro damage bonus to 0, you can see Ages of Harvest is now hitting over 1 million damage. And the reason for this is because I have almost no attack percent from my substats. Attack percent and flat attack are the second and third best buffs for Jinhsi. So now if I were to go and actually have attack percent on all of these builds, keep in mind 9.4% is really low, and let's say we add Verena's buff and a Moonlit Cloud buff and a Rejuvenating Glow. So we have Verena's buff, Rejuvenating Glow, and Moonlit Clouds. Now we have 1.4 million damage, and that's with a Spectro damage bonus and attack percent bonus. Now I switch them back over, and you can see we actually have more damage with double Spectro damage bonus. So I hope that this clears up that question about Jinhsi's build specifically, and that this shows you that you can put in your exact echo values and find out what is the best setup you have at the moment and for any future build you may have with your specific weapon. So that is all for this video. I will be updating this for every character in the game. Join the Discord if you want updates on that, and I'll see you in the next video.